Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Very Connected podcast. And tonight we're going to be talking about macros. I'm going to give everybody just a moment to kind of get logged on and just want to welcome everybody. If you're joining us live, let me know in the chat box and give us a little hello. Tell us where you're from. And if you've had bariatric surgery, let us know what kind, and or if you're planning to, if you're pre-op, post-op, that kind of thing. We also have a Q&A box that you're welcome to post questions in. I'll be going to that periodically and looking at those. So just want to welcome everybody. It's so great being here with you. Okay. And as everybody's joining, I'm going to kind of just kind of talk a little bit about what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about bariatric, macro-friendly, high-protein meals and snacks. And it was kind of fit in perfectly. This last week, we had Kim Trapella and Rob DeMedio that joined us and on Wednesday at 1 p.m. and they basically talked about macros and how important they were. So I thought this was a perfect fit. If you missed that live event, I'll show you how to get there. You just go to our website under Very Connected and you will find a little link to watch the replay. That's available on demand until the end of this month, just as this event today is also on demand. So if you have to jump off early or if you are joining late, or if you just want to watch it again to kind of get some more content, feel free to do so. It's available to the end of the month. I'm also going to show you some new things that ProCare is offering as far as content. So it looks like we have a lot of people joining in the chat box and commenting. So I'm not going to be able to read them all, but I just want to say hello to everybody. Just kind of reading over it. It looks like we have Tammy, we have John, we have Enid, we have Kathy, we have, looks like Ashley and Victoria. I'm sorry, Tamiko. We have Shauna and Chris. And on this one, I just see part of the name. It looks like LaQuisha. It looks like we also have Ashley, Angela, Robert, Jennifer, John, Rosa, Brandon, and the list goes on. And we have people joining from all over the United States. Registration for these events has been incredible. Before we did Zoom webinar, we actually used a platform called Crackcast, and I feel like it was a little not quite as user-friendly. So I'm so happy to be here on this platform. Please at any point let me know if you're having any technical difficulties, but so far things have been running pretty smoothly, and I'm just going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and for those of you, keep commenting, keep letting us know, because this is a support group. We're here to support each other. I'm going to actually be sharing my screen here in just a moment, and I'm going to be sharing how you can access this information on our website. We do have some handouts for you, so I'm going to be showing you how to get to those. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to jump onto our website, procarenow.com. So just procarenow.com. When you get there, I'll copy that link for those of you who are listening on the live and put it in the chat. When you get there, we have some new little tabs up here. I wanted to kind of show you what those are all about. So under Very Connected, we rebranded ourselves for these podcasts about beginning of March, somewhere in there. And right as you look under each of these little tabs under Very Connected, you're going to find all kinds of great content. The support group handouts for tonight are located under there, and I'll be pulling those up so you don't have to pull them up separately, but I just wanted to show you where you could access it later. So tonight's topic again is bariatric, macro-friendly, high-protein meal and snack ideas, and you'll find the link. You can open it up right there. I also want to just kind of share with you some other things just in case you're new to our forum. Here under Very Connected, we do keep a list of our ongoing events for the upcoming month. So we're in July right now. If you're listing in a different month, know that the events will be listed. So as any of our events, you can kind of use this little scroll button and scroll through. All events will be active until the end of the month, meaning they're on demand. So you click onto the event, you register for it, you can watch it after the event as well as the live. The only one that does not include is Rodolfo's, because his is a private event that he hosts and we're just a sponsor for. As we move down under upcoming monthly support group sessions, that's where we are right now. So you could access us there. And then I also just want to mention, we are also taking our video and we're listing it on our ProCare YouTube channel, and we're taking the audio and we're making podcasts. So you can listen to this also if you're walking or in the car and you just want to listen as you go. We do have several of our podcasts already listed on there. It will be listed on places like Spotify, YouTube, iHeart, all the normal favorites out there. And so, check that out. Very Connected. Also on our YouTube channel, I'll skip over and just kind of let you know that is ProCare Health Vitamins and Supplements. And when you hop over there, if you press the subscribe button, okay, if you see that, press that, you'll have access to videos as they first come out. You'll get a little notification that a new video is coming out. Usually these events are placed onto our YouTube channel approximately 1 week post the event. So they're on demand for approximately till the end of the month. And then we're also putting them here on this channel about 1 week post the event. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to kind of jump back on here, and it looks like we still have people joining. Thanks guys for being here. Let me know if this is your first time or if you've been here before. Always love to hear where people are in their journey. And so we are going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to actually be jumping to our presentation here. So I want to make sure I get that pulled up before I have it on here so that it's real easy for you guys to see. And I'm going to escape out of our full screen mode. Okay. Okay, guys, here we go. So I'm going to be presenting from Canva. So once I get there, you're going to see the screens kind of change just a little bit to the presentation mode, and I'll make it in full screen so you can see it really good. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to open up my chat box so I can see as all of you are posting different stuff here. So, and I'm going to go ahead and paste the ProCare Now website so you can get there later if you'd like to check that out a little bit more. Okay. Moving things around just a tad, because I want to be able to see you guys' chats. Okay, here we go. So we're going to be introducing some simple and really, really, really good ways to hit your protein goals each and every day. I saw this support group was inspired by looking at Instagram and seeing how so many wonderful dietitians, bariatric surgery programs, and things like that were basically posting on different kinds of macros and how to hit those. And I thought, this would make a great topic, because even for myself, I struggle sometimes to know, like, what would be a good snack? What would be something good, like just to grab as far as good, healthy proteins, and knowing how much protein content you're getting in each of those. So for me, those of you who are new to this forum, I am a bariatric nurse. I actually worked in the bariatric field before I worked for ProCare for about 8 years as a bariatric coordinator. And during that period of time, saw thousands of bariatric surgery patients, and just knew that I was in love with this field because it brings in so much incredible newness, like, to life. Like, the people that go through weight loss surgery experience so many different things, and it empowers them to make big changes. And people want to be there. I worked in emergency services for about 20 years before that in quality management. And, those are places like, especially the emergency department, unless you're having a really big issue, a lot of times you don't want to be there. And although I enjoyed it because I learned so much about anatomy and physiology, I learned so much about different medical problems and things like that. And I see a couple of people posting things, and I love this. I'm going to read those here in just a second. I just want to say, yes, everybody's on a different bariatric journey. And for me, I knew that I wanted to be able to help people. So my background is in emergency services. And basically what I discovered through that is I knew it was so wonderful to be able to help people in periods of their life where they were going through really difficult times and be able to make a difference. But I knew that there was more to helping someone heal, helping someone feel better than just pushing medications. And although those are important when you really need them, but I knew that there was something more. And I was really, really drawn to holistic health. So I actually went in and I started studying energy work, and I became certified as a healing touch practitioner. Let me know if you've heard of that before. I went through a program called Healing Beyond Borders, if you want to check that out, and found that I found so many interesting things. And I thought, I got to know how to share this with the world. I didn't want to just do instruction. I went through instructor training for through Healing Beyond Borders, but I also wanted to be able to teach these things to people that wouldn't necessarily be looking for it, and be able to bring it into the nursing field. So from there, I went in and got a coaching certification to be able to really know how to coach and bring that in. And through that, I found that was really helpful being, in the bariatric coordinator role, because seeing patients pre and post-op, there's a lot of things that people go through, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. And so I became just an advocate. And then 1 year after I started in the program as a coordinator, I had bariatric surgery. So this is me before. My height is 5'6". I had the VSG surgery back in, moving this chat box because I always forget, it was 2011 or 12. It was 2012. It's been, just a little over 10 years. 2 years after my surgery, I was at my lowest weight. Over the next 5 years, I slowly gained a little bit back. In the last 5 years, I've stayed pretty stable. I am looking at maybe trying to lose a little bit more, but I'm pretty comfortable where I am. And for the most part, my health has been a lot better than what I was in my before picture. So I see some comments. It looks like I see Dawn says, as a bariatric patient, I'm now on a mission to be a bariatric therapist. And I love that because I think that as you go through something like this, it just draws you in and it just makes you realize how much you can help people by sharing your own story. That's what I'm hoping to do. Like bringing in through this, I'm hoping to bring in some of my own background as a nurse and coaching and that holistic part. And also, my own experiences as working with patients in the field. So I think each of you have a genuine gift thank you, Eden. Each of you have a genuine gift to be able to bring to someone else. And whatever that might be, your experiences really help you to be able to share, what's worked for you. And those things might help someone else. You guys going out there and sharing what you have learned. And I know Ashley says, my doctor hasn't said anything about macros. And for the life of me, I have no idea what it means. I'm so glad you brought that up because I didn't really either. I know our bariatric surgery program didn't talk very much about macros. I hear it in the weight loss community, and that's why I kind of decided to do this. Macros are macronutrients, and they are how your foods are made up. So that means protein, fats, and carbohydrates. So that's here what we're talking about. Let me know if that makes sense. I hope so. So basically what you can be getting. So in this, why is protein important after bariatric surgery? I know a lot of us, it's all about with protein, it's all about really focusing there. And a lot of bariatric surgery programs will really focus their energy and time in having conversations about protein. Normally, right after surgery, most programs will tell you 60 to 80 milligrams of protein or grams of protein a day. Okay. And for the most part, that's pretty typical. Some dietitians may veer off from that a little bit. The ASMBS, which is the American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, that's what they recommend, is somewhere in that range. And, sometimes that can differ if you start at some point working out, if you have medical conditions, that might warrant being away from that. But, I would say the big thing is at least a minimum of that. I know I recently went in because like I said, I'm trying to get off a few more extra pounds, and I went in and I was talking to my practitioner about it, and she actually recommended for my height. She said for whatever my goal weight was, that I should take that, and that should be basically in grams, how many grams of protein. So like if your goal weight is 200, that would be a lot of grams of protein. So maybe like a little less than that. But if it's maybe 150 grams, I don't know. I feel like 150 grams for me would be a lot to get in. I can usually get in about 100. Anybody else want to comment that? It looks like there was a comment that someone may have to leave early. It looks like Gina says she may have to leave early. And yes, so if anybody does have to jump off early, this will be on demand using the same registration link you used until the end of the month, the 30th of this month. And then by next week, it'll be placed on YouTube. So you can watch it on YouTube. ProCare Health's channel, which is ProCare Health Vitamins and Supplements. And also the audio will be under Bari Connected, which is our podcast station. So let me know what you guys were told as far as how much protein. I'd love to know what other programs are saying. And so why does programs focus on that? The reason is because protein is actually, it helps with tissue healing. It is it's amino acids that help build our bone and muscle mostly. And it also helps with satiety, meaning it keeps you satisfied for longer periods of time. And I'm sorry, my dog in the background, he makes these crazy noises. He has a cough. It also helps support your muscle mass. So like as you're losing weight, it's going to be one of those things. Now, our bodies need fuel, and it doesn't mean necessarily just eating only protein. I know a lot of times people will get on keto diets, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But protein kind of is one of those things that's more, it helps your blood sugars kind of stay stable longer. If you're needing kind of a rapid pick-me-up, carbohydrates would be the way to go. And then fats is important too, because they are actually what help us with making sure our fat-soluble vitamins are being absorbed, A, D, E, and K. So you need fat in your diet to be able to absorb those. They also can help with, making sure your skin has healthy oils, making sure your joints are lubricated. There's all different kinds of things. So making sure you just get in the right amount. It looks like Elizabeth says, I'm pre-op and I was told 80 to 100 grams. Ashley said, mine said 65 at the beginning and I hit a stall and my nutritionist said up it to 80, 90. I can get in 100, but that is tough. Yeah. When you're really early on, it's one of those things, being able to focus there because your stomach's only so big. And Ina mentioned, she said she learned a lot from Rob and Kim's presentation yesterday because they talked a lot about macros and, amounts and that type of thing. So it really, and Kim really never gave us really any specific numbers. She just basically told us, she's a dietitian that's worked with a lot of bariatric surgery patients. And she said it's very individualized. There are calculations out there that nutritionists can give you, but the main thing is knowing what works for you. And so like if something's working for you really well, then there's no need to change. But if you feel like either you're at a stall or you're not losing as fast as you would, tracking your foods on an app such as Bariatric or MyFitnessPal or something like that can tell you what percentage you're getting in and how many grams, because it will actually figure it for you. It looks like Kathy says there are tables that can be used that take several factors into account, and my clinic tailors goals individually for each patient. The exercise physiologist usually recommends slightly higher amounts based on body mass. Mine are 74 to 106. Michelle says, figure it out how to hear. Oh, Michelle, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you can hear us now. But one thing too is, you want to balance out your blood sugars, because if your blood sugar is not balanced, you're going to get really hungry during the day. And early on, you may not suffer with that. Most people don't. A lot of times right after bariatric surgery, most people really aren't that hungry. What would happen for me right after surgery is the amount that I was eating is so small, because right after surgery, you have not only you have a smaller stomach, but you also have the swelling from surgery, and your stomach, for the most part, can hold very small amounts right after surgery. So like a tablespoon, couple tablespoons, it's very small. That does increase after the first month, and as the swelling goes down, and you can hold larger amounts of fluid and liquids. But if you're not focusing on quality foods, like high protein foods, what's going to happen is you're going to be not getting in what you need to be getting in. So if you're filling up your stomach with the things that necessarily aren't quality and aren't going to be helping you, then you may not be able to get it in, And I was finding myself right early on, I would eat just a few bites and I would be so full. And then an hour later, I would be hungry again. So, again, eating the right kinds of things is perfect. I am going to read a couple of these comments because I think they're helpful. Angela said she was told weight in kilograms times 0.8 equals protein grams per day. I'm going to repeat that. Weight in kilograms times 0.8 equals protein grams per day. Nancy says, my surgeon just talked to me about starting my protein intake for my upcoming surgery. I was happy to share tonight's webinar topic with him. Oh, great. Yeah, I love that. And Dana says, I ate 2 boiled eggs for breakfast this morning. I love that. You guys keep giving protein ideas as we're going through this, because this is meant for all of us. What I like to do, I'm a very, very visual person. Anybody else visual? I like to see, kind of like against other different kinds of products, what it looks like for the same type of serving sizes. So here we're looking at a 3-ounce serving of protein, lean meats. And when you're looking for a lean meat, we mean loin or round. You're looking at visibility of fat. And so like here, we're looking at this graphic, if you're listening to the Bariatric podcast, I'm going to be kind of talking about this. If you're listening instead of watching, you can also gain access to this handout again on our website under our Bari Connected handouts. Okay. Or if you're joining late. So chicken here we have, for a 3-ounce serving, we have 128 calories with 26 grams. And out of all of these, I kind of listed these in lieu of the highest to the lowest on this particular slide. My daughter, her name is Madison. She works for ProCare Health. She helped me with this presentation somewhat. So she added the lobster on here because that's one of her favorite foods. And salmon. I have to say, I am a big fish person, so I love fish. And fish is really, really lean in as far as fat, and it's very high in protein as well. It's not listed on here. Beef is listed at 197 calories, 21 grams of protein. Shrimp, 84 calories and 20 grams of protein. Pork, 116 with 17 grams of protein. Salmon, 177 calories with 17 grams of protein. And lobster, 65 calories with 14 grams. Any questions about that? It looks like Robert said, I found Quest brand protein snacks helpful in increasing protein. Yes. I have tried the Quest chips before, especially if you're a chipper. That was one of my hardest things after bariatric surgery. I can actually remember opening up a bag of chips, no lie, the week after bariatric surgery, opening them up and smelling the chips because I was missing them so bad. I almost wanted to cry because I love chips. It's not that I don't ever not eat chips anymore. I do love chips. I just really try to modify my portion size. And because really after bariatric surgery, you guys, there's things that aren't completely off limits. It's all about choices and where you want to go. You know, where you want to put fuel in your body. This is about fueling your body. It's a different way to look at life. And, Dana says she loves Quest, but she feels like they are expensive. And yes, and I found kind of a little bit harder to find. I think I did see them at Walmart, so that's kind of a common thing. But yeah, textures are so important, like crunch. Like if you're needing a crunch versus something else. We also on our website do have a handout. It's called Food Swaps That Taste So Good. And if you're really struggling with certain types of foods, maybe sweets versus salty foods, we do have a list. It's actually a little presentation that we've done before that can maybe be helpful to you. So it's called Food Swaps That Taste So Good. It's on our website under our handouts page. And Kathy says, try the high omega-3 fish, tuna, and salmon. Yes. And one good thing is tuna and chicken and trying to think what else comes in cans. So like if you are like not wanting to actually have to cook and want an easy little bring along, I love grabbing like a can of one of those and being able to bring it with me to work or wherever. Now I will say, yeah, chicken. I will say that they do have a strong smell, especially the tuna. And so depending on your coworkers, they may or may not like that. I know it's like one of those things, but I am so in love with it. It was one of those things. A lot of them will come with, Nancy mentions, tuna and egg salads with light mayo, celery, and pickles. That is such an amazing thing to bring along for a little snack or lunch. And even some crackers if you need a little extra carbs to throw in there. They do actually make them like in little kits that you can buy. I've seen them at Walmart. It looks like salmon is in cans. Yes, I've seen that also as well. And I've seen them in like little, I want to say they're like not paper, but some kind of like little containers or they're not plastic, but it's like a container that's more pliable that you could slip really easy into. Yeah, pouches. That's a great word for it. Thank you. They're in pouches that could really help with bringing your lunch along. So we are going to go on to the next slide. Whoops. So here we have, I'm going to move my cursors so I can actually see what I'm reading. Meal preparation. So planning for the week ahead can help you stay on track. And for me, this is probably the single most important thing. Doesn't mean I have to meal prep. It just means I have to have the right kinds of foods in my house. Maybe some meats pre-cooked or having them that are easy to grab because sometimes you're on the go. So here what I'm talking about is if you decide you want to cook your proteins ahead, some healthier cooking methods include grilling, baking, stir frying, and air frying. I know a lot of bariatric surgery patients will meal prep once a week or twice a week. For me, what I typically tend to do is if me and my husband, we grill literally almost every single night during the summer months because we love being outside. We live on a farm and we have an outdoor grill, pellet grill, and literally that is what we do. Some nights it's 8 or 9 o'clock, which I think we probably need to get a little better about being early, but we typically are out there grilling and we usually always make extra for the next day. I don't mind leftovers. I don't like them too long leftover. I will say too, one other good thing to do is if you are making extra and you can't eat it the next day, throw it in the freezer in a Ziploc. And that is such a quick little easy way to have something to pop in the microwave fairly quickly. Also, pre-cooked meats. So we kind of talked about that with the canned foods, but also, in your deli section, you can buy deli meats. Of course, there's like chicken, turkey breast, but also rotisserie chickens are so good, and you can cut those up. And I've actually, what I'll do is cut up the whole chicken into small little bite sizes, and I'll put half in my refrigerator and half in my freezer so that it's so easy. Also utilizing a meal delivery service, because a lot of times that can be helpful, whether you order your food online, drive by, pick it up, or have it shipped straight to your door. So there's so many different services. Do you guys use any of those? HelloFresh is one of those I know that comes to mind, but I know there's so many more. Anybody use that? I know that some of those are really helpful, especially if you got a really busy schedule and you have kids and you're running to different places all the time. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay. And here, I'm going to actually move my little cursor one more time. Okay. So fast food tips and tricks. Okay. Most of you guys know these, but it just might be a little reminder for you to kind of maybe just bring things in awareness. I know for myself, just hearing things sometimes is helpful, just to kind of remind me, oh yeah, I can do that. So, opting for, again, I mentioned earlier, grilled, roasted, baked, over something that's deep fried or crispy. Now, there are crispy kinds of recipes. I know I am a big, huge Pinterest fan, but there's lots of different recipes that can make things crispy, kind of as a substitute that you can use in your air fryer. My oven actually has an air fryer setting. I do have an air fryer, but baked or broiled is also very good. Also, asking for sauces and dressings on the side. That can be really helpful as far as when you're eating fast food. I also like to order, like if I'm ordering a hamburger, a lot of times I'll just eat it open-faced and leave off half the bun, or leave off the complete bun and just eat it in lettuce. If I'm eating pizza, sometimes I'm looking at the picture here that I have at the top. If I'm eating pizza, sometimes I'll just eat the topping. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I'll eat some of the sauce with it. I'll eat the cheese. And if I eat a vegetable pizza, I'll eat the vegetables. If it's a meat pizza, I'll eat the meat. Has anybody else tried that? That's one of the big things. For fast food for me, if depending on where you're going, because your family may want to go a different place. If you're ordering like Taco Bell, you can actually get like a bowl that is kind of like a protein bowl, that type of thing. Elizabeth said deconstructed pizza. Yes, so true. Also, I see some other great suggestions. Dana said, it looks like I have a comment that says, I am looking for a meal delivery service to get me started cooking more. Yeah. Anybody else use any delivery services? I want to know too. Dana says, for fast food, I do kids meal. Oh, wonderful suggestion. Yes, I do that a lot as well. Aaron said, I use our air fryer. It's a game changer. And I agree. Texture makes a difference. I love it crispy. I am a crispy person. Ashley said, air fried pizza on net zero emission carb tortilla. Oh, I love that. That is, and a lot of times those two have high protein. A lot of those tortillas you can find are high protein. So you're getting the protein from the pizza and also that. Dawn says, portion sizes need to know are still 1 cup of food per meal when we are 4 years post-op. I think it changes for everybody. It depends what fills you up. And, if you're having a hard time filling up, use foods that fill up your stomach even more, like fruits and vegetables. They have a large capacity to fill up your stomach if you're eating it along with your proteins. To me, proteins, what I have to do a lot of times with my proteins, especially, I eat them a lot of times we'll eat them first before I eat anything else, just to make sure I'm getting in what I need to. And then also, we'll cut them up into really small bite-sized pieces. So I'm chewing it really well. It's digesting well. 1 cup of food per meal. I'm going to say I'm 10 years out. That's probably pretty close. Maybe sometimes I could go for a cup and a half. 2 cups would probably be really maximum. It depends on what I'm eating though. It really does. Kathy says, ask for alternate crusts like cauliflower. Yes, that's a great question. It looks like Factor 75 and Cook Unity. These are some things that people are listing as food services is what I'm thinking. I've not heard of those. Factor 75 and Cook, C-O-O-K, Unity, U-N-I-T-Y. Elizabeth said, my son and I have broccoli in place of fries at Red Robin. We don't often think about fruits and vegetables. Even places like McDonald's. McDonald's does have apples. They have apples in their little child's meal, which is a great substitute too. Let's see. Michelle says chaffle pizza. So easy. I've not heard of that. C-H-A-F-F-L-E. Tell us more about that, Michelle. Dana says, I drink lemon water with my meals or sparkling water. Yeah. So, a lot of times the water will fill you up, with drinking alongside your meals. And I know I'm 10 years out. I can drink a little bit. Early on, bariatric programs will tell you not to eat and drink at the same time. I will say that was a big thing for me. It was difficult. And even now, if I drink very much at all before I have food, it really just fills my stomach up. So, calorie wise, if you're filling up on calories through your drinks, it's probably going to be hard to get in much extra. Nancy says chicken pizza crust is the best with veggie toppings. California flour crust is out there too. You know what? That reminds me, I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen for just a hot second because I'm going to actually show you on, let's see here, share my screen, and I am going to go to, let's see, escape out from this. Stop sharing. I want to show you on our ProCare website that we actually have it's probably going to pop back up because I am full screen here. On our ProCare Health YouTube channel, guys, under playlist, we actually have a recipe list here, and I'm going to click on that because I want to show you. We actually have on there cauliflower. We have a pizza party. ProCare Health recipe. Healthy pizza recipes, and I'm going to just pull that up. I'm not going to play it. It's 5 minutes, but I am going to copy the link for you. Let's see here, share. I'll copy that, but you can find that on our ProCare site. And actually we make cauliflower pizza. We make chicken pizza. We make a pizza with mushrooms. So fun. So I'm going to go back I'm going to stop sharing again for a second, go back to our Zoom page, and I'll paste that link in case anybody's interested. If you're listening to the audio and you don't have access to these links, just know that it's on our YouTube channel. Paste that there. Here we go. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen again, guys, and we're going to go back to our presentation. Okay. Thanks for being patient with me while I do all this. There we go. Okay. So we just talked about fast food tips and tricks. Now we're going on to dairy. And with dairy, what I want to say with dairy is these are all suggestions of a 3.5 ounce serving and how much protein is on there. So I'm going to be reading them off for those of you who are just listening. I'm kind of watching our time too. Here we have plain non-fat yogurt, 10.2 grams. We have cottage cheese at 11.1 grams. We have cheese at 22 grams. We have cream cheese at 6.2 grams, skim milk at 3.4, and sour cream at 2.4. Now the calories here aren't listed, and there are going to be differences in that. Cheese, that's going to be probably quite a few calories versus your non-fat yogurt. So kind of looking at that might be a little helpful, but these might give you these are great recommendations for snacks. For me, cheese is always a great snack. Cottage cheese, yogurt, those are always really quick and fun. In these next couple slides, we did a whole presentation on vegan protein sources. So I'm going to just briefly kind of mention these. So we have nuts and seeds, legumes, and soy products, and vegan meats. So on this, you can see how different types measure out. I'm going to kind of list the highest of some of these. So nuts and seeds, some of the higher ones are pumpkin seeds. They kind of surprised me. I mean, have you guys ever tried pumpkin seeds before? I absolutely love pumpkin seeds. Chia seeds, 6 grams. We have almonds at 6 grams, hemp seeds, 9.5, flax seeds, 6. Some of these things like flax seeds and chia seeds, you can just like throw on your yogurts or into your protein shakes to get a little extra. We also have legumes, which are black beans, pintos, chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, and peas. Most of those range from 7 to 8 grams of protein per half cup. And honestly, that's probably about what I can eat as far as a serving. It's just that they are very filling, because a lot of times these beans, if they're not, they will kind of expand in your stomach. So you have to kind of watch. You don't want to eat too much. You want to be careful with that, because when they expand, they fill you up. And so if you eat like let's say you're eating a half a cup and then all at once it expands in your stomach and then you're overfull. So that's just kind of what I'm saying there. And then soy products, tofu, Beyond Meat burgers, Impossible Burger, all of those can give you between 13, tofu's a little less, 4 grams, but the others that I just mentioned, 13 to 20 grams of protein. And it looks like Kathy says, whey isolate is better than whey concentrate, better absorption. It is is better also than casein. And that is true, Kathy. You are so right. So picking out a protein, if you're taking a protein powder, especially, much better to make sure you're getting a protein that is better absorbed. And whey isolate is one of those as well. Here we have a list of fruits and vegetables. So you don't think about fruits and vegetables actually having protein, but you can get just a little bit in them. It's so interesting. I love food tracking. To just see how much protein is in certain things as I'm doing it. I was really surprised. Peas, I don't have them listed on here, but peas was very high. I forgot it was like 9 grams of protein or something like that for a serving. I was like, holy cow, I had no idea. But some of these others are 2 to 3. 2 to 3, broccoli, but sweet potato, artichoke, spinach, banana, blackberry, guava. 9 non-dairy might be things like soy milk or pea milk, and have about 6 grams. Grains here, quinoa, brown rice. I'm not sure how to pronounce this one. It's a type of grain, amaranth, Amaranth. We found that as we were doing our searching, and we just tried to pick some things that were fun and new. And here we're talking 3 to 4.7 is what we're looking at. And then something that is really, really good for you, probably have heard it out there quite a bit, is blue-green algae and comes in powder form, spirulina powder, 6.6 grams of protein. So I'm also looking at some of the comments here. Elizabeth says chia seeds expand too. Yeah, some of these seeds, you kind of got to be careful. Kathy says for diabetics, the beans also have carbs that need to be monitored. Absolutely. Thank you, Kathy, for all of this great information. I'm going to kind of go on here, guys, to our next little slide. And this here, we're going to talk about some high protein snacks. Move my list here. high protein snack ideas. Here we have hard boiled eggs. We have chickpeas. We have nut butters. We have mixed nuts and jerky or meat sticks. What is you guys' favorite out of this? Tell me what your favorite is. I'd say my favorite is nut butters. For me, I like peanut butter, but there's also like almond butter, sun butter, which is made of sunflower seeds. There's all different kinds of different things like that. Chickpeas. One of my favorites is actually putting those in the oven and roasting them. Those are super good. Mixed nuts. I have been a huge fan of that being one of my carry-along snacks, like my book bag whenever I'm going places. Elizabeth says the same, and jerky or meat sticks. Yeah. I also am going to just we've linked to Ostrom, which is one of our ProCare's products that we carry on our website. And when we get done, as I'm talking through some of this, I'll share here in a little bit where you can find all of that information. Because to me, I love meat sticks. They're like one of my favorite with traveling. Traveling is sometimes hard. So protein bars and that. I also have another slide here on snacks. Kind of go here. So these are kind of like supplements as well, not only snacks, but supplements. And I'm going to kind of read. Kathy says, Malay sorghum has new strains that are very high in proteins compared to the other gains Brenda listed, all on the same list. Great. You can actually pop these like popcorn. Ooh, good to know. Kathy, where do you find those at? Tell us where you find them. Kim says dried edamame beans are great. Oh, I love them. Yes. That sounds really good. I think that's something to definitely check out. Here on this slide, we have some different ideas. Now, I've listed ProCare products because obviously we're being sponsored by ProCare. If you're listening, I'll be reading off here what we have as far as supplements. Pick out something you like, because what you like is what is important. Try different things, try different things to see what best suits you to get your protein needs in. And different places along your journey may be different. Early on, I had a lot of protein shakes. I got tired of them for a while, and now I'm like 10 years out, and now I find myself kind of migrating back towards those because they're easy and they're fast. Real foods, like what I'm talking about, whole foods, meats that are real from, animals or some of the other sources we just talked about are really nice because you're getting them from an actual real source. But some of these things are great if you're just needing like a pick-me-up and you're needing something to carry along. Here we're talking about protein powders. We're talking about protein bars. We're talking about protein shots. ProCare offers in the protein shots something called Liquicell. Comes in 5 different flavors, orange, we have watermelon, grape, lemon, all different kinds of different things to kind of keep. I think we actually have an apple now too as well. Here, unflavored protein powders. And I will say people are always asking about unflavored protein powders because you can add it into your coffee, you can add it into your foods. The only thing is, I will say our ProCare protein powders are 5 grams of protein per serving. So you would need quite a few scoops to, equal larger amounts. But if you're wanting to supplement and just get in a little extra protein in certain things, it'd be a great way to be able to do that. And then collagen. Collagen is actually protein. And it's kind of been one of those things that's been very popular out there with people wanting to try to get extra collagen for their skin because it's one of those things. It's a youth thing. People love it to keep their skin youth and healthy. Also, collagen is great for healing purposes, especially post-surgery or plastics, like after bariatric surgery or plastic surgery. Kathy says that any store that carries whole foods, look in the aisle where the grains are, Amazon, baking companies, King Arthur, Red Mill. Thank you for listing those. So Amazon, baking companies like King Arthur and Red Mill. And Nancy asked, can protein shakes be frozen? So the answer is yes, they can. And personally, I like mine with ice and like a freeze, like something that's kind of like a It changes the texture. It's like a slushy. Like I like crushed ice. Like I like to put them in a blender and blend them. We're actually going to be doing a live event coming up in August, I believe, with my friend Kathy Hudson. She's going to be talking about the Ninja Creamy, which is another way to make frozen protein shakes. Has anybody else have a Ninja Creamy that's seen that or talked about it? I'd love to know because I've not tried it yet and I am so anxious. She is always talking about all of these recipes that you can do with a Ninja Creamy. So guys, again, check out Berry Connected on our website and you will find the hub page. You'll find our handouts. And so I'm going to stop sharing here for a moment. And I'm going to be shortly going to the Q&A. Before that, I'm going to go on our ProCare site because I want to share some of these. Exit out of here. Let me escape. Whoops. It's being a little exit full screen. We'll just try that. So I have some things pulled up that we kind of talked about earlier. We talked about the Liquicell. So guys, all of these can be found on our ProCare Health website. The proteins that I'm talking about here can be found under this little button that says products and then under proteins. Okay. So Liquicell, all the different flavors. We market them for a company called Global Health. And then our protein, Ostrom, comes in maple brown sugar, applewood, ranch flavor, buffalo, teriyaki, pepper, natural flavor, barbecue, teriyaki. Has anybody ever tried any of these? They're so good. Sweet and spicy and habanero. And they're made from different types of products. So we have turkey, we have chicken, we have beef and ostrich, beef and elk, all kinds of fun things. Probably didn't even know about those, did you? I always like talking about new things here. Our protein powders, you guys, our protein powders were in the works. They came out, I believe, last year, and they are definitely a fan favorite. They are, to me, our chocolate protein powder is really protein chocolate and vanilla are very light, like just light. The powder is very light. To me, the chocolate reminds me of Nestle's Quick, no lie. I like to mix mine with fruit or vegetables. I also like to mix it with ice. You can mix them into a shooter, meaning just a little shot. Get your protein. You can mix it into a pudding. You can mix it in with your foods. We have all kinds of recipes under our handouts page that you can mix with these to make like protein balls, brownies, all different kinds of fun things. So check that out later. High in protein too. And we actually on this, if you pull one of them up, they're whey isolate. That was what Kathy mentioned earlier about being one of the very best sources of protein. They have an exclusive immunity blend added electrolytes, a digestive enzyme blend that keeps them from hurting your stomach. Like that's one thing that I struggled with protein shakes. Some of the protein shakes really hurt my belly and didn't make me feel so good. So that's definitely important. Up here, we also have the Procell that I mentioned earlier. Again, this is listed under proteins, and that's the unflavored version. 25 little packets in for a 25 count. And we have the Liquicell. I think I showed that already. And then basically what ProCare is really known for, one of their prime products is our bariatric multivitamins. Guys, our bariatric multivitamins are really at a good price. So not going to spend a lot of time here, but just to kind of show you for a 30 count bottle on a subscription, you're looking at $11.99, guys. So definitely something to check out. Varying degrees of iron, capsules versus chewables versus soft chews. So I'm going to stop sharing there. And I am going to, if you're listening to the live event, you'll see me post the ProCare Health website here one more time. It's just procarenow.com. One other thing I did not show you, which I'm going to show you really quickly. Really quickly. For those of you guys who've not tried out ProCare, let me know if you've tried ProCare. Let me know. Ashley says, I love the vitamins without iron. Oh, love that. Here's our website, procarenow.com. We also carry free samples. So if you've not tried it and you want to try it, I'm going to show you where to find the free sample button. Here on the ProCare Now website, here, interested in free sample, click here. You click there, you fill out just a very little short form and get you a free sample. So stop sharing. So the free sample button is at the top of the menu if you're just listening only. It looks like I have some additional comments. Kathy said, remember that protein powder doesn't mix well in hot liquid over 130. Yes. So even coffee sometimes are a little harder to mix, I will say. I've seen a lot of people using those little electric stirs. What I would recommend is adding it with a little bit of room temperature liquid and then adding it into the hot liquid. Nicole said, I'm interested if anyone likes a Liquicell. How do you drink it? I thought I was supposed to drink straight from the packet, but it's very unsweet. Yes, so you can mix those into ice to make kind of like a slushy. Some people will mix them into their salad dressings. I know that sounds crazy, like the orange. I've heard people mix them into their drink mixes, like if you try Crystal Light, just for a little extra flavor. I personally like them as shots, like just straight up. But yeah, there's actually Liquicell recipes. If you go to the Liquicell website, you can actually find recipes on Liquicell. But also on our ProCare site, under the Liquicell, there's ideas of all different kinds of ways to do it. Yeah, check out the site. Yes, thank you so much for all of that. And we're nearing our time. And it looks like I have one question under the Q&A box, which I'm going to get to. Michelle, I just saw that you said you couldn't hear, but now you can. I'm glad you let me know. Sometimes these technical things can be kind of crazy. Just never know what's going to happen. Anybody else have any questions before we come off? We have a couple minutes. Give you guys a time. I'm going to take a drink of coffee. I know it's late in the evening. I drink half calf. That's been my solution for coffee because I love it. And I had kind of a late afternoon lull. You guys, today I had so much fun. I had seven high schoolers that came over and we did a garden tour of my garden. So it was pouring down rain. So I did a presentation. I actually have given the presentation. It's probably on our YouTube channel. It was 101 gardening for bariatric patients. I made it into 101 gardening for Girl Scouts. And we did a presentation. I showed them all my dried herbs, how to use those. I showed them how to use my vacuum packer, how to clean vegetables. We went out, we picked vegetables, tomatoes and peppers and squash, even some little Brussels sprouts, and we picked a bunch of different herbs. And I gave them all stuff to take home. And they're like, how do we use this? I'm like, I gave them a little handout that explained how to use the herbs. Anybody else have a garden? I know some of you do, because I know some of you on this call have gardens. It looks like Kathy has her hand raised. Kathy, tell me. Kathy, I think she probably has some things that she probably gardens. Elizabeth said, I try to have gardens. Yes. I mean, it does take time. To me, it's more of a hobby than anything. I love it. And I love sharing with people all the vegetables. Okay. It doesn't look like we have a lot of other questions. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks, Michelle. It looks like Ashley has green beans, lettuce, carrots, and tomatoes. I have to say, any hints for keeping the weeds out of the carrots? I actually put landscape fabric down and cut little holes, burned holes in my landscape fabric because my garden is pretty big. I keep getting bigger. Kathy says 20 by 20 plus vertical. So you have a big one. It sounds like a very big one. Garlic and cucumbers, LOL. I need hints for raising garlic. Let me know, because I've struggled with that. I've tried it a couple times. Annette says making freach peach salsa with jalapeno, cilantro, and peaches from our yard. Oh my gosh. That is literally making my mouth water. That sounds so good. Vertical is a cool idea. Yeah. Like if you make your garden, I want to know, like, what does that mean? Like vertical? Are you talking like you go one length and then you go another length to make it like really long vertical? I don't know. Are you talking about it has certain types of beds that are vertical? I know raised beds to me are somewhat easier in some ways, but I've tried raised beds. The only thing is watering. This summer has been super hot. You have to keep things really watered. Even the non raised beds, I'm having to get out there and water. This weekend the last 2 days we've gotten 3 inches of rain. So it was much needed. It was so dry here in Missouri. I'm in Missouri. So Ashley says her first year. Well, good luck. It's so much fun. Kathy says she uses castle panels to make 8-foot tall arches for vine and pole crops. Oh, now I know what you mean by vertical. Okay, gotcha. It looks like she's posting Lisa's posting an article. Oh, I love that. I'm going to have to check that out. Open that in a separate tab. So guys, we are here at time. I want to thank each of you. If any of you have a question, let me know. I also want to say some of you are attending for attendance verification for your facility. I send attendance to all facilities that are registered with me. If you're questioning that, you can ask your facility if they get our attendance. I send that about a week post these events to catch all the replays. So if you're listening on replay, I'll be catching that as well. So I will catch your attendance and be sending that if that's something you requested. And everybody just have a great evening, a great weekend, and join us for some of our other live events. Go on our hub page on our website and check that out. So much love to everybody and take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the nice comments. And it looks like Jennifer says, can you send mine to Emmanuel, Nebraska? If when you registered, you were required to put in your facility name. If you did that, which is on the form when you registered, then I will see that and I will send it. Okay. So no worries whatsoever. And I'm putting my email address just in case you did not put that and you're wanting to send it to me. So, the next meeting, guys, these are typically the third Thursday of the month at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Our support groups, our live events are typically on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Again, those can be found on our hub page. You can go and register for those. You can register ahead. You'll get reminders. If you, sometimes they're off a little bit from that, timing wise, if a speaker can't meet with me at that time. So we kind of vary it, or if I'm traveling. So yes. Okay. Yeah. So again, if you want me to do your attendance, you have my email, or if you registered and you put your name, your facility name down, no worries, it'll be sent. Okay. Okay, take care, everybody. And yes, this does count. Jasmine asked, does the current attendance count towards the support? Yes. Most facilities will count it towards your attendance if you are required to have that for insurance purposes pre-op, or if you are required to have it as your facility's requirements. Most of them will count that. So yes, thanks all. Okay, take care. Have a great evening. Bye, everybody.